If we do that as a team, 11 at the time, 4 years from now, we'll be walking out of here national champion. I'll tell you this, I expect nothing less.
97.7 The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. Your home of the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. 2 nights after making his Lakers debut, Luka Doncic listed as questionable against the Jazz tonight in LA's final game before the NBA All-Star break. He returned Monday after missing more than 6 weeks with a calf strain. LeBron James, who left the last game following a collision in the fourth quarter, listed as probable due to left ankle soreness. The Lakers have won 6 straight and 12 of their last 14. Ben Simmons expected to play his first game with the Clippers either tonight at home against the Grizzlies or tomorrow night in Utah. He signed with LA after being waived by Brooklyn last weekend. Simmons last played February 1st. The injury-plagued Mavericks will be without center Daniel Gafford at least 2 weeks due to a right knee sprain. Forward Alex Condon left third-ranked Florida's win at Mississippi State with an ankle injury. X-rays were negative. No word yet how much time he might miss.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Let's get this Wednesday going. Good morning to you. I am Joe Hunk. He is John Abraham. Broadcasting live from the brand new studios of 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as on ESPN Winchester, where one state is happy, one state is not. You have Alabama and Auburn have finally done it. They have gotten past the point of no return, and now here we go. Number one versus number one Saturday coming up at 3 p.m. Tennessee couldn't figure out how to shoot a three-pointer all night.
Hey, they
kept
it respectable, Joe.
It doesn't matter. You shot like 15%. 15% from three-point line. I mean, come on. So we'll talk about that as well. But before any of that, always do not forget, especially at this point in time in the day where it doesn't matter if you're in Tennessee, Alabama, you are putting up with the rain. You need to know about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, they're the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, just look them up online. FlemingHSV.com is the place to find them. And remember that they show up. You can get your free quote over there, and you get your free sports talk over here, because all you got to do is either turn on your radio, get it to 97.7, and you're listening to the best sports talk in North Alabama. On top of that, the apps, go and download them at 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as Talk Radio WZZN, where you were able to listen to another matchup, not SEC, but it was still a really good matchup in the form of Creighton versus UConn, which UConn got the dub. Respect for them. We didn't really focus too much on that one, though.
No, but I will say the conversation that Drew and Scott were having during Talking Ball a little while ago about the top 5 coaches.
Dan Hurley and that,
I do have some questions about that later on. Like, it's one of those like, hey, I kind of want to ask a few things. Now, you can always ask some questions and get on, talk about what you want to talk about. 256-576-4977. I will tell you here in just a few seconds, you're going to want to make sure that you go to WZZN TV. In fact, the part of the first segment is going to be a visual portion of the segment. So make sure that you go to WZZN TV.
What you talking about?
No, I'll explain here in just a few seconds. Okay. So I'm trying to give everybody enough time to get to WZZN TV to watch this. In fact, I'm sending some text messages right now. Go watch the stream now. Okay. So I'm doing that because some of the things that obviously you had Alabama playing last night, that game was late. Auburn was early. They played in Nashville and beat Vanderbilt. But while Auburn and Vandy were playing, John and myself were down at Zambruski's.
Always a wonderful time.
Always a wonderful time at Zambruski's. And I will tell you that not only do I need to thank John, because trust me, with the amount of stuff that we do during these shows, with the amount of fans that are there, that are Havoc fans, that are wanting to meet the players, all the social media stuff that you see, all the pictures and everything, whether it is on 97.7's Facebook page, on X, or even in the Huntsville Havoc fan cave, all of that is John. So every bit of that is him on there.
95% of it.
It's like 99%. I'm just the one sitting up there asking the questions. You're doing the other 5,000 things behind the scenes of this. And so I definitely want to thank him for everything he did last night. And at the same time, also want to thank everybody at the Iceplex, because we were having to kind of scramble with people getting things around, because we knew we were going to have so many Havoc fans that were going to be there last night, that they actually brought some people up from the concession stands down on the first level, just to kind of help with everybody that was going to be inside of Zambruski's last night. So we absolutely appreciate everybody from the Havoc, as well as from Zambruski's and the Iceplex, for kind of making some adjustments to make sure that everything kind of went off without a hitch.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's always good to see, of course, the people who work there do a great job. And on top of that, all of the regulars that we get to see every single week. You guys are the best. You show up at Zambruski's, you get yourself a brew, and you know what? You enjoy some Havoc hockey conversation.
And obviously, Ginger Julio as well, with Stockton Mortgage. Obviously, she always sponsors the Havoc Hour. Now, you talking about the fans, some people don't realize this. There is one fan that showed up last night, and not many people know this, and I hope I'm not,
You talking about the guy that was doing backflips in the back?
Yes. No.
He had to leave.
No. I'm talking about the guy that literally is going to go into surgery like on Monday. And he also just came out of a surgery like maybe 4 days ago, and he's making a point to be at the Havoc Hour like every single one of these.
Priorities. These guys know what they want.
No,
and they get it.
I absolutely appreciate it. No, I absolutely do. We did have a lot of special guests last night. Charlie Risk was there. Cam Cervoni was there. I appreciate Cam being so incredibly candid. Not that Charlie wasn't, but right out the gate, the very first question that everybody was asking Cam was about, hey man, what was it like being the new guy on the Huntsville Havoc.
Yeah.
And for it was more of like a, hey man, you've only been here for 3 weeks. Like, how's it feel to be to the new guy? They didn't know, and the people were asking this because there were multiple people inside the WZZ and TV chat asking this question. They didn't realize the history that Cam actually had with some of the players on the team. And it wasn't a horrible history. Like if you go up to like hockeyfights.com or something, you see like all these fights with like Cam and half the Havoc players. It's not one of those things.
It's a great site, though.
It is a great site. In fact, Charlie Risk is, I think he's one of the most videoed people on the thing. I mean, it's like OnlyFans, but for hockey. And so it was Cam, for a lot of people that don't know.
Only fights.
Just fights. That's your thing. Tyreek Hill likes tall women. I mean, hey, we've learned this over the last 24 hours. We've learned this over the last 24 hours.
Well, everybody's a tall woman to him.
Well, no, absolutely is. I mean, my daughter, who's all of a foot tall, is a tall woman to him. So the idea of Cam coming on this team was like, oh, hey, how's this? People don't realize that he actually has a connection with 2 Havoc players specifically, because those 2 players, which we've had on the Havoc Hour the last 2 weeks, as Terry Ryder and Sam Ruffin, we talked to them about winning the national championship. They won the D3 national championship in 2022. Like, they have the rings. The team that they beat was Cam's team in the national championship game, not just in any national championship game. They beat them in Lake Placid on the Miracle on Ice. Like they were at the Herb Brooks Arena in Lake Placid for the D3 national championship team and game. And it was Sam Ruffin and Terry Ryder on one team, and then Cam Cervoni on the other team. So I was like, so
this is why the Havoc are so good. I mean, they're just getting guys that went to the national championship.
Like I really think, and we asked Coach P about this as well. We were like, so how do you guys look for players? Because I honestly thought that he was going to say, basically what we did is we just went to Adrian College and we just said, hey guys, anybody who wants to play hockey, you've won a national championship. Let's just go ahead and bring you down to Huntsville. Oh, the team that you beat, let's go over there. And it's like Sonny Gironi or so. I never can pronounce it.
Yeah. Jabroni.
Yeah, Jabroni. No. And so hey, you 2 guys, y'all's teams, y'all played for national championships. Come down to the SPHL. Let's win ourselves a President's Cup.
Yeah.
Because it feels like all these players I'm looking up and learning about is, this team played for a national championship. This team played in the national championship. Then you have Charlie Risk that literally helped a hockey program get off the ground in his first 4 seasons in Canada with this hockey program in college. Were the first 4 seasons of the hockey's program together. The first season, they only won like 5 games.
Jeez.
And then his final season, they won like 17 games. It was.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Michigan, how they last year won only like 5 games maybe on the basketball season. And then this year, look what they're doing.
No, absolutely.
Top 20 team now.
And so it was extremely awesome to watch. We appreciate everybody that was there at Zambruski's, but Charlie and Cam weren't the only kind of special guests that we had there, because my wife surprised me with a visit with her and the kids, all 2.5 of them. And they all came there, and I didn't know that they were going to show up. So look, I got one kid that's a little rambunctious. That's the 6-year-old. I have another child that is about to be 2 years old, and she's just the biggest flirt in the world for like a 22-month-old. Like, she just is. And so she's sitting there across from John, and my wife, who's trying to, obviously my 6-year-old is doing 6-year-old things.
Well, he was calm. All right. He was watching,
calm.
What is it? The Big Family, Big House?
No, he wasn't watching Loud House. He wasn't watching that. He was watching the spinoff, which is Casa Grandes. That's it. He was watching Casa Grandes. And so he is sitting there, he's watching that. But then my wife looks at John and she says, hey, John, do you want to hold our daughter?
Yeah, she was starting to get a little rambunctious.
She was. And she kept looking at John, and she kept smiling, and she just kept looking over that way. So John's like, yeah, sure, I'll hold her. And this is the reason why I say that you have to go to WZZN TV, because we have photo evidence.
I
of what happened.
offered to hold her because she was getting a little wacky, but then she was not having it. She was getting a little cranky. She didn't have her. I think it was the Cheez-Its.
Yeah, she had the Cheez-Its in her hand. It's in the picture.
Oh, yeah, there they are.
Yep. It is in the picture right now.
I was holding her like a rifle.
You did. I thought you were doing Call of Duty. I have no idea what you were doing.
I couldn't hold her because she kept squirming.
Yeah, no, she was. And so she was not having it. I know, are you the youngest, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
So you didn't get to hold any younger brothers or sisters in
Nieces
the
and nephews.
clans?
Come on now.
I was about to say, do you know how to hold a child?
I know how to hold a child. I couldn't adjust her. She was already squirming and crying. So it's just like, all right, I'll hold her like an AK and just, give her back whenever the mom wants her. Yeah, no, I'm noticing it now, though. It was literally like her leg was the barrel.
It was. You were holding her leg like it was the rifle itself, and you had your arm wrapped around just so that the gun doesn't move.
Yes.
And it was the most hilarious thing ever, because the moment after this picture is taken, my wife tells me the moment that John sat her down and everybody was all calm and they'd gotten this picture, she says, your daughter would not stop looking at him and stop like peeking around his computer to catch a glimpse of John. Like my wife said, I think she may have a crush on him. Like, I think she may have a crush.
I have that ability.
I mean, it
doesn't matter what age.
It was so funny because she's saying she couldn't get enough of him. Like, John was sitting there trying to work, and at the same time, your daughter's just peeking around the table edge, just trying to get a little glimpse, just looking at John. Then she'll come back.
Beautiful eyes. She's adorable. She really is.
You see now why I'm screwed?
Yeah. No,
you see why I'm screwed now.
I understand.
Because this is about to be my life.
Yeah.
And it is going to be outlandishly crazy because she is going to get me in trouble.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
I may have to break some legs of some teenagers whenever they do something to hurt my baby girl.
Well,
I mean, they may.
Hopefully we'll still be friends, Joe. And
you can help.
I know a few guys.
Well, I mean, you look like your family are the few guys you know.
I think
really what it looks
Come on now. I think you're generalizing my type of people.
No, dude, you literally give off soprano vibes.
It's the gold chain, right?
Oh, it's totally the gold chain that you're rocking with that, and the tall dark hair and
browns.
Yeah, now I know that you're not going to be successful if you try to do anything with this, because neither is that team. But
I'm trying to think of a joke that would correlate, with me trying to, get somebody, and I'd probably fumble the bag. That's what I would do.
No, absolutely. No, you
I'd end up giving them money on accident.
The kids that were on the ice that were shooting pucks off of the crossbar and it was coming up and almost taking every one of us out during and before the Havoc Hour, those kids are more accurate than you are. And they were on the ice 20 feet below us.
It's pretty impressive.
That was truthful, by the way. We're all sitting getting ready for the Havoc Hour. Next thing you know, that pop-up banner, which is similar to the one that is right behind me right now, all we hear is ding, 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 boom. And we're going, what was that? And I was like, I looked over and I looked at our pop-up banner. It had dropped and curled back into the base. And then I look around and there's a hockey puck just rolling over across Zambruski's.
I didn't know they hit the
No, they hit it. You missed that part.
No, I definitely did.
That was when I first got there.
Okay.
And I just went down. I looked over the edge with the puck and I was like, what was that? I said, dude, you need to shoot better.
It's a hockey arena.
You suck.
It's a hockey arena.
And he goes, sorry, that one went off the crossbar and it popped up there. And I'm thinking to myself, how does it go from the ice and off the? I've worked a few Havoc games this year. There are literally professional hockey players that fire a puck at 90 plus miles per hour that aren't doing that.
Those kids got to have some rockets because that's a lot of speed to bounce it off.
What in heaven's name are they shooting down there? But Zambruski's, if you want to and miss the Havoc Hour, you can go back to WZZN TV. You can watch it there. All you've got to do is just look up WZZN TV or 97.7 ESPN The Zone on YouTube. We also have it on our Facebook page as well as X. Everything that you missed. Coach P was absolutely tremendous last night. Learned a lot about him as a player. It was really kind of cool because the theory was for us, look, there was no Havoc Hour for all these players before this year's team.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of those are the coaches that play, that are coaching this team now, who also just happen to have their names up in the rafters. But it was, there's a lot of stuff that we would have loved to have asked them during their playing days that we now have the ability to.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to see the Havoc fans start to kind of ask Coach P about his playing days and all that sort of stuff. And it was a really fun show. So make sure that you're there next week, 6:00. That is where we will be at Zambruski's. All you got to do is just go up the steps at the Iceplex. Doesn't matter if you go left or go right. Head all the way to the back.
And you'll see this mysterious tavern. That is Zambruski.
Absolutely. And if you go on in rink 1 on the left side, you can see us set up right there in the back on, is it a patio?
It's a patio.
I'm not trying to figure out how you actually describe what it is, but it is a patio. It's just 20 feet in the air.
Well, we got to describe some of these basketball games that happened last night. And to help us out with that, Cody Goodwin for Bama 247 is going to hop on with us when we get back.
Just look at her.
Would you just look at it?
Just look at it.
Would you just look at it?
She's terrified.
When we get back, Cody Goodwin and your phone calls here on The Blitz.
Atlanta Braves spring training is on from Florida, and this 2025 Brave squad is ready to get after it in Northport.
He waylays this thing way downtown. Swung on a fly ball, deep left center field, heading towards the gap, and it's down for a base hit. Acuna hits the bag at third. Here he comes, Michael Harris, taking no prisoners. It's a sweep.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Auburn basketball coach Bruce Pearl has a challenge for you.
Be an MVP to a child in need by opening your heart, opening your home, and becoming a foster or adoptive parent in Alabama. I know so many folks that are. They tell me it's one of the greatest things they've ever done.
To learn more about becoming a foster or adoptive parent, visit dhr.alabama.gov. That's dhr.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and the station.
There are many adults in Alabama who cannot take care of themselves. Some of them need foster homes. The Alabama Department of Human Resources has a critical need for caring men and women to provide safe and supportive homes for vulnerable adults. Make a difference in someone's life. Be an adult foster care provider because love never ages. For more information, visit dhr.alabama.gov/AFC. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Human Resources, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Are you trying to find a new house? Are you trying to find the right loan, the right people to do your loan? Look no further than the Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green. John Kendall, the Vice President of Mortgage with me. John, when they need a loan, and I say they, when people need a loan, it's about them.
That's right, Scott. Our whole motto is it's all about you. We're going to be okay. You're the one making the investment. We want to make sure that you're taken care of.
How do they find you?
Give us a call at 256-507-9180, or they can catch us online at bankofFrankEwing.com.
It's Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green, where they take the home loan to you and they make it all about you. Bank of Frank Ewing in Hazel Green is an FDI insured bank, as well as an equal housing lender.
NMLS number 446707.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Rain continues this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. At times, we're going to be talking about pockets of very heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley, which could lead to a little bit of localized flash flooding. At the same time, I also think a couple of thunderstorms are going to be possible, especially through the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. Temperatures climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s. The rain is going to come to an end as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Temperatures drop into the lower 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From Coleman to Fayetteville and all points in between.
Son, pull the hammer back. Smokey's coming at you in a plain white wrapper.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ready. Time for me to take it.
Also appreciate, as we were talking about the Havoc Hour, the record number of viewers that we had last night for the Havoc Hour, as well as a ton of people that were unable to be at Zambruski's hopped in. I mean, I honestly, that was the first Havoc Hour that we had done so far this season where I probably had 7 or 8 more questions that we could have asked the guys.
There's so many.
And could have went for another 30 minutes had we'd wanted to.
Yeah.
But my wife was also still giving me that eye because she knows that we were supposed to wrap up at 7.
Yeah. You want to know why, Joe?
Yeah.
Because we had an Alabama game.
We did have an Alabama game. She wasn't giving me the eye for that. She's giving me the eye because she had a 6-year-old and a 21-month-old that she could be like, you need to help me with these kids, and we need to get them home and get them to bed.
Yeah, she definitely was reaching her limit. But even when, the Havoc Hour ended, 7 o'clock hit, and I was thinking to myself, I can get home, I can start watching this Alabama game. It didn't start until about 7:45, 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, it's going to be another one of these nights where I might fall asleep before the end of this game. Thankfully, that was kind of the case. But at the same time,
Texas was asleep for a lot of it.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of a challenge. Regardless of that, 103-80, Alabama gets the win. And to help us break this matchup a little bit more down as we look forward to what I think the entire southeastern area, maybe even the country, is looking forward to, this 1 versus 2 matchup. Cody Goodwin from Bama 247 is our guest. Cody, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man, because we finally got through these midweek games, and let me tell you, Saturday's game going to be a banger. I've been looking forward to this for a long, long time, and I'm sure everybody else has too. But man, it's going to be a fun one, and perhaps we know it's the first of multiple, but is it the first meeting of only 2, possibly 3, maybe 4 between Alabama and Auburn? We'll see kind of what the rest of the season has. But if that tells you anything about where I'm at in terms of just pumped for this game, like, man, dude, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The teams 1 versus 2 have only met 22 times during the regular season, and that goes all the way back to 1951. So this game is pretty rare, I will say that much. I think the last time we saw it was 2016 Kansas, I think, versus Oklahoma.
Yes, and obviously a lot more in the state. And you're talking about your excitement level. When was the last time you were possibly this excited about a regular season basketball game for Alabama?
I mean, I think there were probably moments last year where it's like, okay, like, this is a big game. I'm excited to see kind of how Alabama handles this, that, or the other thing. But just in terms of, stakes, the fact that it's a rivalry, the fact that College Game Day is going to be there, the fact that it's number 1 versus number 2, which we've seen before in the regular season, but this is the first ever 1-2 meeting between 2 SEC basketball teams.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And it just so happens to be 2 teams in the state of Alabama, which, I'm sure we're going to hear over and over and over again from the mothership this week that, it's a football state. Those are 2 football schools. Well, that's pretty good on the hardwood too, man. And not just that, not just this year, like they've been good for the last few years, right? Like Auburn won the SEC tournament last year. The year before that, it was Alabama. They both have been to Final Fours in the last 5 years. Like this is, this is the culmination of years and years of hard work by these coaching staffs in these schools to make basketball a priority, which I think is really a cool, underrated storyline that I hope gets some run on the big networks this week.
But also, and talking about these are 2 football schools, let's also think about the thing that's when this rivalry happens on the football field, outside of a few seasons, you don't get this type of hype of them both being highly ranked the way that they are in basketball for at least this game in Tuscaloosa and potentially the one in Auburn as well.
Yeah, that's the other sneaky thing about these guys meeting twice this season is their second meeting is at Auburn in the regular season finale. And if the lead up to that game is anything like the lead up is to this game, like that game could very well decide the SEC regular season championship, who's the 1 seed in Nashville for the SEC tournament. Like there, it could potentially have some NCAA seeding implications. I don't really want to go that far because I think Auburn probably has a better resume, I think, just on paper, just in terms of who they've beaten and net ranking and whatever that jazz, all that math. But still, like it's going to have some postseason implications, I would think. And this one also will go a long ways in perhaps deciding some of that as well. So it's, this is only the first, but it is also up next, which is what's really exciting for us.
No doubt about that. Cody Goodwin from Bama 247 is our guest. And although I do want to talk about the schedules moving forward before we get to that final game of the season that's going to be between these two teams, I do want to talk about last night's matchup. Again, 103-80. What is this, the seventh time Alabama's reached over 100 points on top of that? And I think it's the fourth within SEC play. Texas falls to 15-11. Alabama moves to 22-3. I mean, talk about the performers. There's too many guys to really even bring up. I'll let you do the talking when it comes to these studs.
I mean, everything came up crimson, man. Like, it was just one of those nights where just they shot the cover off the ball, right? 62% from the floor, 59% from three. That's 17 three-pointers, second most they've had in a single game this season. I mean, they even shot 90% from the line. Like, everything was clicking for these guys. We can probably quibble about the turnovers, right? They had 4 in the first 4 minutes. They had 9 in the first half. They had 17 total. Texas turned that into 26 points. If not for that, this probably could have been even uglier than a 23-point victory. But hey, you went on the road against a team that is probably going to contend for a tournament spot this season. And you really, I mean, it was over in the final 12 minutes of the first half, right? I mean, it was 16-13 at the under 12. And then from there, I think Alabama finished the first half finishing 12 of 16 from the floor, 5 of 7 from deep. A 3-point lead turned into effectively a 20-point lead. And Alabama just kind of cruised from there. I mean, you're going to have nights in an 18-game conference schedule where you don't shoot it very well. You're also going to have nights where you just shoot the leather off the ball. And that's kind of what we saw from Alabama. I mean, Jaron Stevenson, who has struggled offensively. He's done pretty well in other aspects of his game this season, but largely struggled offensively this season. He led the team with 22 points, career best, 7 of 8 from the floor, 4 of 5 from shooting, also had 4 rebounds and a block. Like he played really, really well. The bench produced 49 points again. So you see that depth. Mark Sears back to his usual self, 18 points, 3 assists. Like it was just, the stars did not necessarily have to shine in a game like that. And it was just really fun to see the shots finally fall. And I mean, not just fall, like we're talking 60% from deep. Like that was as good of an offensive performance as they've had this season.
No, and Cody Goodwin's joining us right now from Bama 247. You can follow him on X at Cody Goodwin. And literally, like you were talking about Texas and Alabama, but was the theory like, hey, just let Trey Johnson do what Trey Johnson's going to do? You had like 2 players that made up like 53% of their shooting last night. And then just like the rest of the team couldn't do anything against this Alabama defense. Like what was going on with the strategy for this team?
Yeah, I mean, I give credit to Alabama's defense for frustrating Texas, especially during that late stretch in the first half where they were able to put some distance between those two. But yeah, I think the goal was to just force Trey Johnson to take tough shots. And guy still ended up with 24 points, right? Like Nate believes he's probably going to be in the mix to get drafted next year. Very, very talented freshman. Took him 17 shots to get there, though, right? He went 9 of 17 overall, 4 of 9 in the second half. Like they were okay with him taking as many as he wanted, as long as the defense forced him to, just kind of made him uncomfortable a little bit, right? Like really made him work for those shots. So he had 24, Kent had 19. I mean, otherwise, I thought the defense played fairly well. Texas still, respectable 42% from the floor, 36% from deep. They were able to score a lot of, between second chance points and points off turnovers. Believe that made up 39 of their, so almost half of their point total right there. So you want Alabama to clean that up a little bit with the turnovers. And, I think Texas won the offensive rebounding battle 14-11. So you don't want to see that. But generally speaking, I thought the defense did enough that they frustrated Texas and they forced some tough shots. And Nate was pretty pleased with that at the end of the game last night.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And looking forward, of course, the Auburn matchup this weekend, but the rest of Alabama's schedule till that, again, Auburn matchup to finish out the season, every single one of these matchups against ranked opponents, of course, within the SEC. Talk a little bit about the strength of schedule to finish out this year.
Well, okay, so I just pulled up the net rankings page that the NCAA uses when it comes to who gets in the tournament, how the tournament gets seeded. You ready for the remaining schedule for Alabama?
Go for it.
Auburn, quad 1. Missouri, quad 1. Kentucky, quad 1. Mississippi State, quad 1. Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, quad 1, quad 1, quad 1. Like It is probably the toughest schedule remaining in the country. And if it's not, I would like to see one better. I mean, not only are all those teams ranked in the top 25, but I mean, we're talking those remaining, 7 games, all are probably going to be against NCAA tournament teams, and not just any NCAA tournament teams, but teams that could probably make a run, right? I mean, we're talking Auburn twice. You get Kentucky, whose offense has been very, very good. Missouri has been, I would argue, one of the kind of pleasant surprises of the SEC this season. And then also, to end the regular season, Tennessee on the road, Florida at home, Auburn on the road. Like, it's, any combination of 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3, I don't know that would be surprising, just, given some of the flaws that we've seen with Alabama and the competition that they've got to face, right? Yeah. So it's a nasty schedule, man. And I know I made the comment earlier that Alabama-Auburn round 2 at Neville could potentially decide the SEC. Alabama's got a little bit of work to do if they want to make that a true possibility. Now, they've shown that they've got the talent that they can do it, but man, that's a gauntlet. And, hey, we all thought the non-conference schedule had this Alabama team ready and battle-tested. The end of this regular season coming up here over the next month and a half or so, it's going to be pretty nasty.
Great stuff from Cody Goodwin from Bama 247. Before we let you go, Cody, I got to admit, I'm really circling that Alabama-Auburn, the Kentucky matchup, the Tennessee matchup, but also, I mean, some people forget about Florida too. I mean, this team is an absolute gauntlet, or just a powerhouse within the SEC this season, and that's one that I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to conversate with that about you. But on top of that, SEC baseball right around the corner. Can you give us a little bit of intel about this Alabama Crimson Tide baseball team?
Oh man, so it's going to be SEC baseball, right? So it's going to be a really tough gauntlet right out of the gate.
It always is.
I believe what
just means more,
right? Yeah. So hey, SEC, they own football. They've clearly owned basketball this year. They have owned baseball for quite a while. I know that's not necessarily the mainstream sport, but hey man, I believe they were picked somewhere around middle to lower end of the pack. So this could be a team that could perhaps surprise some people this year. I know that they're pretty pumped about their pitching. They're pretty pumped about, some of the hitters that they were able to bring back. And, they've got a pretty fun non-conference schedule that literally starts up later this week, right? I think they start with a three-game homestand against Bradley. They've got some fun non-conference matchups against NC State, Ohio State later on. So, it's probably a little too early to tell, but hey, about a month after the season starts is when they open up with Texas A&M, and they were a powerhouse last season within the SEC. Later in March, probably when we're all focused on the NCAA basketball tournament, they're going to play Tennessee in Tuscaloosa. So there's a lot of excitement, I think, within the first month and a half of this baseball schedule. And we're going to learn a lot, I think, about this Alabama team right out of the gate. So, I know that there's a lot of excitement with, Rob Bond back and some of the players he was able to retain and some of the other portal additions they made. So we'll see ultimately what they've got pretty early in the season, just looking at the schedule.
And Cody, one last thing, because I know that obviously with you guys in Bama 247, especially a lot of changes with the Alabama staff, specifically at offensive coordinator with Ryan Grubb coming in. I know that you guys are really focusing on what you guys are looking at with the spring practice and everything that's going to be coming up. What are we thinking when it does come to like a Ryan Grubb offense, as far as the changes that Bama fans may be able to see even as early as the spring game?
Get ready to learn passing, buddy. That is what Ryan Grubb loves to do, man. He did it when he was in Seattle last year in the NFL. I want to say Seattle threw the ball 60% of the time when he was the primary play caller and kind of second in command for the offense with Kalen DeBoer at both Washington and Fresno State. They threw the ball about 56, 57% of the time. I know that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but, this is an offense that uses, some like quick passing games, some quick one-read routes, some kind of those bubble screens and things of that nature, just as kind of an extension of the running game. So, when you see those quick passes and maybe they throw it 40 times and only run it 30 times, they kind of view those quick passes as kind of an extension of the running game. We can dig more into that once we really get into more spring ball, but that's the short version, man. Ryan Grubb at OC, we're probably going to see the quarterback, whoever it is, whoever wins the three-way battle this spring and into the fall, they're going to throw the ball a lot. They've got I think the personnel to do it in the receiver room. We'll see what kind of questions get answered and maybe pop up again with the offensive line. I think they got to fill some holes there, but get ready to learn passing, man. I have a feeling Grubb is going to call a lot of passing plays in Tuscaloosa next season.
You bring up those bubble screens, and I'm already thinking about some vintage Crimson Tide, at least early 2010.
It's not
I know.
Everybody's looking at Dable like that's the reason it's in his name to run the ball.
Yeah.
So I mean, like they're going, oh, this is a different Alabama team you're gonna be seeing.
That's the way. I mean, this Alabama team was able to get you back in the early 2010s. It was run the ball and then the bubble screens or any of those to even throw it to Julio Jones on a normal screen, and he's able to get you 20 yards. I mean, that is the type of football that at least I was able to grow up with, and I really appreciated from the Crimson Tide. But if it's more passing and it's down the field, I'm honestly all for that because I've gotten to see enough of Jalen Milroe just trying to run it from the backfield, and honestly, I'm over it now, and I can't wait to see what he does in the NFL. I can't. But Cody, wonderful stuff from you as always. Let the people know where they can find you over on socials and online.
Yeah, man, I'm on X or Twitter or whatever we're calling it now, at Cody Goodwin. And then we've got all of our stuff at Bama 247, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. So a lot of stuff going on when it comes to Alabama athletics. Spring ball, a pretty big basketball game on Saturday, and then you guys hit on it with baseball coming up here before too much longer. So, hey, come along and enjoy the ride with us.
Can't wait for it, man. Cody, always a great time, brother. Can't wait to talk with you again.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
Thank you. And specifically with Cody, we also made sure not to ask any Kansas City Chiefs questions because I didn't even want to talk about it on Monday. So
I forgot that he's
no.
Let me get him back. I can get
No.
Cody, real quick. Cody.
Dude, no. Hey, we've suffered enough.
He's still on.
We are grieving.
He's still red
right now, okay? Travis Kelce says
grieving.
Yes.
Grieving.
Travis Kelce said yesterday we don't know if he's going to be coming back next season, okay?
We don't.
But literally, he said it himself. He doesn't know.
I don't know if my favorite player, Myles Garrett's going to be back. I never know if David Njoku's going to be back. Heck, Nick Chubb, he's already gone. I have no idea what he's off to doing, but his leg's not healthy. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Look, okay?
You've gotten
we
enough.
We are grieving.
You've gotten enough.
I say we. We are grieving.
Yeah, Joe, did you play on that team?
No.
Are you alumni?
Look, one of my teams just lost the Super Bowl. The other team is so far from the Super Bowl that they are literally the furthest from the Super Bowl that you can get.
That's my only team. Yeah.
No, our Titans are in front of you. And I have worked for them, so I can say we.
See, Cody, he just texted me. He said, would have happily answered a Chiefs question.
Cody, don't do it.
He would have.
Don't do it.
He would have done it. Either way, 256-576-9777 is the number to get in. He's been waiting very patiently. We'll get Jeff on real quick before we hop into our final break of the hour. Jeff, how you doing, man?
How's it going, guys? How about them Cats?
Oh, my gosh.
They shut Tennessee down.
We don't need a whole team to beat y'all. When you got regular season Rick, darling, he's easy to beat, babe. You have to scout him.
Gotta admit.
Jesus is my savior. The Pope's my coach, darling. I've got hope in the Pope. All night. 75-64.
That's actually hilarious.
Lamont Butler's not even like 100%.
14 of 63 from three. 22%. 50% from three. 24 of 48.
Yeah. That was 1,000% the difference in the game.
Both times.
Tennessee literally had one player that made a three the entire
Kentucky's
night.
won 5. Kentucky's won 5 of 6 in the series now. The longest streak for Kentucky in the series is 20 when Adolph Rupp coached from 1950 to 1960. Tennessee's longest streak in the series, 5, twice. Twice, 5. 1916-17 portion, and 1975 to 76. Well, had somebody, Ernie and Bernie or something. Somebody named it. I think Mears coached then. Or Sears, was it Sears, Ray Sears? Sears and Roebuck or Ray Mears?
Yeah, Sears and Roebuck.
Not sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure who coached then. Maybe Pat somebody up y'all, Coach. Maybe Pat somebody up y'all if she come in and help y'all a little bit. But we know that. So, but y'all want him to rain after or say before or after because we don't have no.
Probably we're trying to name a WNBA team after.
Well, yeah, apparently y'all can play in Knoxville. Y'all need to play in Nashville. Y'all can play in Knoxville too. A little forward you got over there.
But
y'all can play in Martin, Tennessee. Got a forward named after it too.
Yeah.
Y'all can play up there. But see, at least our coaches know when we coach. Gee, I don't know. I mean, 1980 I coached. I can't remember it. I don't know, but you know, I can say, guys, again, we whip you again, and you don't want to do anything. It's regular season Rick always, and You could have him for 25 years you want to. You two think he's great and wonderful. And like I said, you enjoy Saturday. You can frame it because, darling, it went 1-2 in the SEC. We all know it is because how many times has Alabama and Auburn been ranked number 1 in the history of their program? About 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, not many.
About 3 or 4 times.
Not many.
Not many. I can tell you, been ranked number 1 more than anybody with the best going today. You know it, and I know it.
How many times has Kentucky and Louisville played in a 1-2 matchup?
I don't give a car. We're number 1 all time. Baby.
Well, no, the answer is 0.
Number 2.
The answer is
I
0.
don't give a darn. We're number 1 all time. SEC everything in hoops, and you know it, and I know it.
Right now, it looks like you're not even in the top 4 based on numbers.
I don't give a darn, baby. We're the best of all time. More wins, more titles than anybody. When you win some national championships in Alabama basketball, you let me know. Instead of them little Final Four banners you got to put up. When you play a national championship in basketball, you let me know. Instead of losing to Virginia, woo, pow, 3 shots. So if you don't want to foul, don't foul the guy. It's a foul with 5 minutes left or 5 seconds left.
You don't want to bring up the double dribble? You want to bring up the foul, but not the double dribble?
Bruce the Cheater versus Quaker Oats on Saturday in the Coleman Coliseum, the dump of college basketball. Well, see you later, guys. You have a good weekend. Enjoy. See you.
It's only Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that means he's not going to call back.
Okay, cool. 256-576. No, look, in the part about Kentucky, Tennessee.
You didn't finish the number.
No, it was 977. No, the part about Tennessee, Kentucky dominated Tennessee.
No, it wasn't domination.
No,
Both of these teams, it was defensive heavy, momentum driven. That's what it was.
Tennessee had one player that made a 3-pointer. One.
Exactly. Kentucky did not dominate them. Tennessee dominated themselves. They didn't have enough players.
17% from the 3-point line.
They didn't have enough players scoring points. And on top of that, on the other end, you can't even really say Kentucky did an amazing job on offense because, honestly, it was scattered throughout everybody. It was a good win because you didn't have Lamont Butler as well as that other guy. I forgot his name. But Lamont Butler was one of those dudes that was playing with one arm, and he was still able to get 6 points. It wasn't even the main part about him. The reason why he was doing a good job on the court is because Tennessee thought that he was going to get the ball at all times.
Chaz Lanier was 0 for 7 from 3.
You can't do
Jordan Gainey was 0 for 4 from 3. The only person that even made a 3 in the game for Tennessee was Igor Milicic. That's it. That was it. He made all 3 of them. They were 3 of 18 from the 3-point line. You cannot do that. In fact, what was it? No, it wasn't just that they were 3 of 18 from the 3-point line. Tennessee missed 6 shots inside the arc. And for the person that doesn't know, that little circle that's right there around the goal, that's like all of 2 and 3 feet away from it. Tennessee missed 6 shots from there. You cannot win a basketball game like that.
I mean, you practiced that like 100 times before the game.
I mean, it's not even the one that you have to practice. Like, you're either dunking from there or you're just banking it off of the backboard and straight in. Like, it's not hard. That is, you don't miss those. Yeah. They missed 6.
Jackson Robinson was the other name that was not with Kentucky, and they still were able to win.
To get through all the BS with it. No, he is right. Kentucky did beat Tennessee second time of the regular season. It was everything that I didn't think Kentucky could do, which is play defense. They played great defense last night. Every bit of it was something that Kentucky normally does not do. They're almost giving up almost 75 points a game. And Tennessee only scored 64 because they can't make a shot from 2 feet. They also couldn't make one from 20 feet, but they definitely also couldn't make one from 2 feet, which is outlandish. 256-576-977. We continue taking your phone calls next on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Auburn Mall Vanderbilt 80-68 at Memorial Gymnasium yesterday. They covered as 8.5-point road favorites. Alabama 103-80 over Texas, winning their 7th straight and covering the 4.5-point number. Troy today, 9.5-point favorites at Louisiana, 136.5 the total at the Cajun Dome. Qualifying coming up today for the 67th running of the Daytona 500. Todd Gilliland and Kyle Larson 7-1 to win the poll. Joey Logano bet down from 10-1 to plus 750. Michael McDowell 8-1. Noah Gregson and Austin Sidrick are both 9-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom-fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
You block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm all in my bag. It's hardest to get. I do not store powder. I might take a sip. I might hit the bluff. But
hello and welcome back into the Blitz. John Abraham, Joe Hunk. Having a wonderful, wonderful time here on a rainy Tuesday
Man, it's,
in Huntsville.
It is also a rainy Wednesday.
Is it did I say Tuesday?
Yeah, you said Tuesday.
Damn it.
And the reason is because, then we would be back at Zambruski's again.
That would be awesome.
Which would be awesome.
Well, we're inside of this place, and although there are more windows than the last studio.
Yeah, because the last studio had 0.
There's no windows in the room that we are in now.
No, absolutely not. This is, outside of it being up on the second level, this is a fantastic tornado.
Exactly. So it feels identical to yesterday. the day before that. Now, we will be getting this place tricked out a little bit more, like Pimp My Ride. It's going to be Pimp My Studio. Going to have some crazy stuff behind you, Joe. I don't know exactly what, but we got some plans.
You guys just approved the design I made. We can move forward. I mean, if y'all could just approve
Who
that.
did you send it to?
I sent it to you, Moulton, and Brian.
I already approve it, Joe.
I just didn't know. I'm just saying, like, I
might not have done it over email, but I approve.
You did it in your head, just like my wife saying, "Well, you should have known what I was thinking." No, dude, no, absolutely not. You should have known. Like, I'll sit there and my wife will tell me to do something, but she won't, and then I'll sit and do something else, and she'll be like, "Why didn't you do that?" I was like, when did you ask me to? And she went, "Maybe I thought it."
Yeah,
but you should have known what I was thinking.
See, Summer knows exactly what I'm thinking, all right? And yesterday, she was supposed to help me out with redecorating or just, like, moving around our room, all right? I go to Zambruski's after hyping her up. I was telling her, this is going to be so fun. A room's going to be different. Then we changed the room around. Now the bed's facing the door. It feels a little bit smaller in that room. But now we got the TV on the other side. Appreciate the tools.
No problem.
Honestly, didn't really use them that much, but I did use them to drill into the beam in the first place.
That's kind of important.
Yeah. Outside of that, I could have used a hammer, Joe, but it was 9 o'clock, so I didn't want to wake the neighbors upstairs if they were even asleep. I don't know. Their cat probably keeps them awake. But regardless of that, the room's looking great. Summer didn't help me out for a majority of the time, but then she finally came in, and honestly, I don't know what she could have helped with because all of those shelves, very, very heavy.
No, and so John's gonna be a little tired, but I have convinced him
I'm not tired.
I've convinced him to kind of hang around for Tom's show today, from noon to 2, mainly just because I want to go out to Blue Oak Barbecue. This is the only reason.
I'll let you do that, Joe,
Yeah.
but you got to let me go back to my house and then come back.
Okay, yeah, it's no problem. So because reason being is because UAH is doing a kind of a basketball meet and greet that they're doing with the coaches and players, and so that's going to be starting today at 11:30 over at Blue Oak Barbecue. Absolutely amazing, and I'm telling you, they're at UAH basketball games. They will have 4 or 5 restaurants that kind of cater in rotation. When Blue Oak comes in, I probably get 3 or 4 plates.
Yeah, that's
It is amazing barbecue.
That's when Spraggins Hall, sells out.
Yeah. And so both the men's team, who is now number 4 in the country, some players from there are going to be there, as well as some ladies from the basketball team. And congratulations to Lily Wilkin as well from the basketball team. Just scored her 1,000th career point as a UAH Charger. She did that against Mississippi College on Saturday. Also, congratulations to Presley Walker, who was just named the GSC Baseball Player of the Week.
When we get back,
yes,
I want to tell you a little bit of the history about the 1s versus 2s, since, of course, that's going to be a huge subject.
Is Kentucky on that list?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are definitely on
No, I mean, talking about in state. Are they? No.
Have you discovered Good Company Cafe? The place for breakfast, brunch, lunch, and so much more. Enjoy brunch all day and pair with one of our many seasonal refreshing drinks, including alcoholic and non-alcoholic options. Choose inside or outside on our gorgeous, spacious, dog-friendly patio. And have some fun with friends playing yard games in the courtyard. See catering, to-go options, and lots more at goodcompany-cafe.com. Good Company Cafe, 7500 South Memorial Parkway.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports and it's brought to you by Conecuh Sausage, a true Southern flavor since 1947, and Conecuh is the official smoked sausage of the Crimson Tide. Order online at ConecuhSausage.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. On Monday night's edition of Hey Coach, we were joined at Baumhauer's Victory Grill by Crimson Tide baseball head coach Rob Vaughn.
Good couple weeks of work, and it's crazy how fast it moves. I feel like these kids just got here in August, and we turn around here in about 4 days and line up against somebody else and go to work. So, like our guy said, a ton of hard work's gone into it, but the boys are ready. We're healthy. Guys feel good, and now it's time to go strap it up against somebody else.
Of course, last year around this time, we talked about as well what was getting ready for a bit of an unknown for you. Your first year here in Alabama competing in the SEC. Just between now and then, what'd you learn about what it's like to coach at this program specifically?
Yeah, I think you just have a better idea what you're walking into. I think last year I played SEC teams throughout my career, but nothing quite prepares you for the 10 straight weeks, day in and day out grind of the SEC. And I think our guy said a minute ago, this league's how can you take a punch?
I'll have more in a moment.
Favorite jeans, favorite shirt. Yak and neck of sausage and I'm firing it up. Yeah, everybody knows. Now get my grill on. You can smell that flavor up and down the road. It's a little taste of heaven. Everybody knows. Now get my grill on. Kanaka sausage. It's just a little taste of heaven.
Join us tomorrow for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms at UA_CTSN. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Kanaka Sausage. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
This is Brent Musburger's VSIN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. For a limited time, GBank is offering a $250 bonus when you open a GBank Visa Signature Card. Apply today at vsin.com/GBank.
Auburn Malls Vanderbilt 80-68 at Memorial Gymnasium yesterday. They covered as 8.5-point road favorites. Alabama 103-80 over Texas, winning their 7th straight and covering the 4.5-point number. Troy today, 9.5-point favorites at Louisiana, 136.5 the total at the Cajun Dome. Qualifying coming up today for the 67th running of the Daytona 500. Todd Gilliland and Kyle Larson 7-1 to win the pole. Joey Logano bet down from 10-1 to plus 750. Michael McDowell 8-1. Noah Gragson and Austin Sidrick are both 9-1. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, and Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Rain continues this afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. At times, we're going to be talking about pockets of very heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley, which could lead to a little bit of localized flash flooding. At the same time, I also think a couple of thunderstorms are going to be possible, especially through the later part of the afternoon, early into the evening. Temperatures climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s. The rain is going to come to an end as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Temperatures drop into the lower 40s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and the Blitz. Joe Hunk, John Abraham with you on this Wednesday morning as John is just devouring something over there. You can see it on WZZN TV as you have multiple ways to watch, whether it is on X at 977 ESPN, giving us a search on YouTube at WZZN TV or 977 ESPN The Zone. And you can also watch on Facebook as well, just by simply finding our 977 ESPN The Zone fan page and liking us there.
Yeah, definitely do that. And Joe, this is an egg bite, homemade egg bite.
Homemade egg bite.
Yeah, I've been talking a lot about Summer lately. She's a masterful cook. All right.
Daniel says we should have palm trees to the studio, by the way.
That would be awesome. On top of that, he also brought up Chick-fil-A zone deals. I mean, I think we tried to do this once before, I believe.
Look, in zone deals, you need to go to 977ESPN.com. We have plenty of zone deals that you can take part of. And if Chick-fil-A would enjoy being a part of the zone deals, pretty sure those would sell out fairly quickly. Yes. My wife, that is her craving right now with her being pregnant is
that's everybody's craving, Joe.
I know, but
it's not like black olives. I'm craving black olives. Oh, I'm craving Chick-fil-A.
First child was biscuits. She loved biscuits, a specific brand of biscuits. I make them for her every single morning. Second child, Yeah, I think second child was also Chick-fil-A. Now that I'm thinking about
Makes
it, it
sense.
may have been Chick-fil-A, and this one is as well.
I think she just likes Chick-fil-A, Joe.
She may just like Chick-fil-A. She likes to say it's a crave, but that Brock also says, "Hey guys, my son is an Aggie, and I just wanted to say I appreciate you commentating. God, that was easy. During the Huntsville Albertville games, you guys were great. We appreciate that. Also, Brock, is your son the one with the majestic hair? Because there were two players on that Aggie team that literally gave me like hair jealousy as a man that's just sitting here with not very much on the top of his head. Telling you, it was, I want to say Nate Smith was maybe, or Nathan Smith was one of them. And I want to say, I've got the roster pulled up, saved somewhere, but there were two players for the Aggies because they are, they're playing down at Jack State as part of the first round of the tournament. And every single time either one of those guys were on the court, I would just say the Aggie with majestic hair, because he was totally giving me just these. I had absolute hair jealousy in every bit of that. So no, we appreciate you and thank you so much. We love doing everything with Huntsville, and we appreciate everybody from the NFHS network that was watching in Albertville to actually help us out with something that we kind of screwed up. Oh, his son is John McCullers, who is literally lights out from 3-point line.
There you go.
Dude was draining threes,
but he didn't have the hair.
No, he has shaved head.
Oh,
no, his head shaved. No, he has.
It gets in your way anyway.
He has a shaved head. So his son was fantastic from the 3-point line in both the games, in the semifinals as well as the finals in there. And honestly, the one thing that I loved about him, and I'm glad that Brock is on and listening. Yes, I'm thinking of Hunter Smith. Thank you, Brock. Hunter Smith's the one with the majestic hair. And so it was, as we were doing the wrap up, and we looked over at the bench. And yes, the Aggies lost to Huntsville, but their season was still continuing.
Yeah, this is a good Huntsville team.
I loved the fact, and I mean this wholeheartedly, Brock. I love the fact that John was one of the few Aggies that you could see how upset he was about losing. Because there were a few players on the bench just like, hey, yes, we lost, but we're still going to playoffs. Our season's not over with. Like, we're advancing.
They also may have saw it coming. Who knows?
Well,
You're playing a really good Panthers team.
No, in comparison, this was the third time that Albertville and Huntsville had played each other in the area. And the first two times that Albertville and Huntsville had played, Albertville had lost by like 35 and 36 points. Like they'd gotten destroyed. And going into this one, they only lost by, I want to say maybe 12 points is what this one was. And so much better showing. They did tremendous. And honestly, and Brock knows this as well, they did a lot of things to keep Huntsville from scoring. The problem that Albertville had is when they got the ball down on their end, they couldn't score themselves. They had multiple opportunities to get this into single digits and to even potentially get close to taking the lead. They would get a turnover. Huntsville would miss a shot. They just wouldn't be able to do with anything on it whenever they got down the court. Yeah. So Albertville is going to be taking on Hoover. Huntsville has Vestavia Hills. Yeah, you see that face. You know exactly. Yeah. No, it's absolutely. So they're going to, so in the course of 2 games, Albertville is going to have to play the number 1 and the number 2 team in the state.
Absolute madness. Regardless of that, I do want to continue on with the basketball conversation. I want to talk about some of the history behind the 1 versus the 2, because I
have even more with you.
It has been a minute since this has happened. But before I do that, I'd like to remind you that this show, as always, is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration. The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Joe.
Yes.
I know you know the history to this, but I always like to ask you questions. When was the last time we got a 1v2? How long ago do you think it was?
Okay, so 1v2. Like, are we talking period?
It could be, regular season. Yeah, just do regular season. We'll go there.
I mean, I'm going to say it had to be like a Duke, North Carolina.
Close, kind of. I mean, you got one of those true blues in the form of Kansas facing off against Oklahoma. This is back in 2016.
Good heavens.
I know. Yeah. That was a 1 versus 2.
Was that like Blake Griffin, Oklahoma?
No.
No, that couldn't have been.
Blake Griffin was.
He was on the cover of the last basketball game, so it couldn't have been him.
He was before 2012, I think. He was still in college. No, but this one ended with Kansas defeating Oklahoma 109 to 106. It was actually one of the best 1v2 games. 3 overtime. And it goes very deep into the night.
Oklahoma made the Final Four that year.
Crazy. You forget about some of these teams, don't you? Yeah.
No, you do, because when you think Oklahoma basketball, you just think of the Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely didn't even think this Oklahoma team was any good after Blake Griffin. Like, it was just, didn't even think of this, and this team made it to the Final Four.
It's going to be harder than ever for them to reach the Final Four now that they're in the SEC. Regardless of that, you go back to 2013, 3 years earlier, you had Michigan State defeating number 1 Kentucky 78-74. This is around the time where Kentucky was actually able to win the national championship. Last time, I believe, 2012, Joe? I believe.
Yes. Yeah. 2012, New Orleans in the Superdome.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you're thinking to yourself that this is the first time, you're thinking, oh, this is a 1v2. It's definitely not the first time that's happened, but it's got to be the first time it's happened in the same state, right?
I do know the answer to this one. I have researched this one. Yes.
Well, you'd be wrong if you thought it was the first time in the same state, because back in 2008, number 2 Tennessee defeated number 1 Memphis 66-62.
Who was the head coach of that Memphis team?
Couldn't tell you.
Coach Cal.
Calipari?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is before. Oh, this is right before he went.
This was the Derrick Rose. This was
I
the Derrick
gotcha.
Rose. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. 2007, the time before Ohio State versus Wisconsin. And then we could go all the way down if we wanted to. We had the Dukes going up against the Texas and all of that stuff. But if you want to look at it in an interesting way, a way that favors the Crimson Tide, number 2s lead the all-time series 12-10 during the regular season. And that means the number 2 might find themselves victorious if you're going off of the numbers alone. But we like to go off the actual stats. Joe, first thoughts on this game. I know you were an Auburn guy. At least you lean that way. When you look at these two teams.
No, definitely an Auburn guy. Yeah, no one of those.
When you look at these two
There's no
teams,
leaning.
who do
I
you
wouldn't be
think,
so
Scott?
upset if I wasn't an Auburn fan.
At this point of the season, who do you think's got the upper hand?
I'm not
on
letting you
Wednesday.
finish the question. The upper hand as far as momentum is concerned is 1,000% Alabama. They have every bit of the momentum, because even though they had a tough matchup against Arkansas that they ended up surviving. I mean, that was surviving. Let's be honest.
It was.
They go on the road to in Austin, and they just absolutely dominate Texas. And when I say dominate, literally they just let 2 players score, and the rest of the team did nothing for Texas. It was Trey Johnson this, Trey Johnson that, and then it was over. So Alabama 1,000% has it. We've got 3 days to build up to this. Coleman Coliseum you're going to have game day there. You're going to have the crowd there early because of game day starting at 8 a.m. And then once they wrap up, it's only going to be a couple of hours until tip off. Every bit of this is in Alabama's favor. Auburn has got to do much better than what they did last night. I know that it's in Nashville. I know that playing at Memorial is a very difficult place to play because of how weird everything is with the sidelines and how you're trying to relay messages and everything. But when I look at the way Auburn played last night, I'm going to need more from Baker Mazzara. He cannot go 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Janai Broome, he did what he was supposed to do. He was able to go 6 of 16. He shouldn't have, obviously, some shots he didn't miss. I don't care about him shooting threes. I don't want him shooting threes. Yeah. I want him going down low, getting in the arc, getting a foul, getting and ones, and making the free throws. That's what I want from a guy like him. He can make mid-range shots, but that's not where I'm wanting him to focus on. And then I want to see more from some guy like Pettiford, who is 2 of 5 from the three-point line. You are not going to be able to go into Coleman on Saturday and shoot 37% from the three-point line and win this game.
Yeah,
you
no
can't.
doubt.
You also cannot miss your free throws. Those are the most important things from there, because going inside and anything inside the three-point line, 50 to 55%, I'll be okay with, but you cannot shoot 37%. You definitely can't do what Tennessee did last night at Rupp
or Vanderbilt, because they had
Vanderbilt.
17.6%.
So you cannot do those things. You've got to do and continue to make sure that you're not turning the basketball over, because this is all you need. Because with Alabama, and especially with the way that they shoot from behind the three-point line, they have an ability very similar to what we talk about like with Huntsville basketball. they can turn a 2-point lead into a 10-point lead in
doubt.
20 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're turning around, your head spinning.
And I feel like for Auburn, what they would possibly find themselves in the situation of is still consistently scoring, getting those 2-pointers, maybe getting every once in a while getting a 3 in. But I think that we might see a little bit of the pace get kind of boosted from Alabama, especially at the beginning of this game. That's what I'm going to see, and I'm going to see if Auburn is able to keep up with that offense.
Here's the way that Auburn needs to handle a game like this in Coleman is you understand that when this game tips off, the energy is going to be through the roof for Alabama. You have got to survive the wave.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a wave right there at the very beginning.
I can't wait to see.
Not that kind of wave. Not that kind.
Can't wait to see.
You need to survive the energy wave where Alabama's coming out and the crowd is hyped and they want to see somebody, Mark Sears drain a 3 in the first possession.
Or an alley-oop.
Or you see an alley-oop that just literally just blows the roof off and then the fans are going crazy. You have got to survive that.
Yeah.
And then once it calms down, then you have to, it's basically what it's going to be about is the 30 minutes in between the wave of the 10 minutes. That's it, because that's going to be the most important part. That's where everything kind of stays even. You make sure that you're even there, and then you just have to win one of the waves, especially the one in the end, and you're good.
I'm kind of interested to see how Auburn deals with this offense. That's honestly my biggest point. I think Auburn can get the win, but it would have to be similar to that matchup against Tennessee back in January 25th, where they held Tennessee to 51 points. Now, Tennessee, of course, we found out they don't have the amount of horsepower as the Crimson Tide. The Crimson Tide, you got guys left and right. Even Jaron Stevenson starting to show up last night. But that's one thing that I'm curious about this Auburn team is they might even get, I would say they could get to 80 to 90 points in this matchup this weekend.
Look, Alabama's defense allows almost 80 points.
Exactly. But how much are you going to let Alabama score? Is it going to be 100? I don't think so. I think it will be around that 90, 95 point.
Alabama shoots more threes than anybody else in the SEC. There's only one other team that is even in the 240s when it comes to the amount of field goal attempts that they have or makes that they have had this season. Do you know who that is?
Who number one is?
The Alabama has shot 200 or made 246 threes this year.
Okay.
There's only one other team that has even made 240 plus.
St. John's? Duke.
Sorry. In the SEC.
Oh, in the SEC.
Yeah, you went way past where I was.
My bad. Ole Miss.
No.
Mississippi State.
No.
Definitely not. Yeah.
No. Mississippi State's only shot 200 or made 200.
Don't make me just start naming off teams. Kentucky.
You're getting to this
one.
point. Kentucky is the answer.
Okay.
244 makes for Kentucky. They actually lead the SEC in three-point goals.
I should have known that. It is a very similar team in the way these offenses can get hot, but again, not the depth.
No, and that with Alabama. Alabama is also the only team in the SEC that has shot 700 plus 3-pointers this year. Wow. 715 3-point attempts this season. To compare it to it, Auburn has only shot 611. Literally, Alabama has shot over 100 more 3-pointers than what Auburn has this season.
I'm pretty sure people can gather that Alabama is a 3-point team.
You think? You think, again, those breakaways or turnovers, those aren't going to result in layups. Those are going to result in the pull-up 3 that we all love to do on NBA 2K.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm on a breakaway. Should I dunk? Nah, I'm just going to pull up for the 3. That's what I'm going to do. That is exactly what Alabama wants to do, and that's what they will do. So that is where this is you have got to make sure that Alabama does not make wide open 3. Don't even get wide open 3s.
Well, it's going to happen.
Yeah, because
limit that.
No, you are. They're shooting 34% right now from the 3-point line, and they've shot over 700 times. Also, I may or may not have come up with a cover 5. I may or may not have.
Well, it's okay because if you have maybe 3, maybe 2,
I've got some good ones.
Okay,
I do, and some of the questions do revolve around Saturday because
Sweet.
We are about to treat this like the real Iron Bowl that's happening for the next 3 days.
Well, because it's better than the real Iron Bowl.
Well, yeah, because both teams are actually good.
Yeah,
like, that's the other part. Is look, it's not the Iron Bowl because I will never call it that, but this is much better than what the Iron Bowl has probably been the last 5 years.
You just want me to push RJ to tomorrow or something like that?
No. If he wants to hop on, we can absolutely talk to him as well.
I do want to wrap up the NFL season if we have time.
We have RJ as well.
As talk about some upcoming betting lines.
Yeah,
that are definitely going to intrigue.
715 threes.
That's a lot.
Alabama has shot 715 threes this year.
That's a lot, Joe.
256-576-4977. You can also watch on WZZN TV, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as we continue next with the Blitz.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you call.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
This is Steve Moulton from 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and this is What's Happening. Be sure and download our app. Just search 977 ESPN in your Google Marketplace or your Apple Store, depending on your device, so you can take us wherever you might go. And you can also check out our latest zone deals. Head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. The top left banner reads, "Savings never tasted so good." Click on that, then enter in the big zone deal store for half-off zone deals of Lawler's Barbecue, Sea Salt, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Bubby's Diner, Corlejos Mexican Grill, Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, Divergence, Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, Hickory Store Barbecue, Good Company Cafe, Apple Lane Farms, the Decatur location, and rounds of golf at Cherokee Ridge Golf Course and Gunter's Landing. And that's what's happening.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Wheelchairs for Warriors serves those who served us. We provide custom-fit wheelchairs for veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. When they are denied the services they deserve, we stand in the gap. To join the mission and support America's heroes, you can visit our website at wheelchairsforwarriors.org. We are a 501c3 organization and part of the combined federal campaign. Visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
In the bottle, set by the water, coming out the nozzle on the fire hose, quiet and swatter. Cinderella man, Cinderella man, Cinderella man, Cinderella man. Listen out the glass, grab the sand, take his hands and couple, spin around the freezer clock.
Last night, did Cam Cervoni say that Eminem's house was right in front of his old high school? So Cam Cervoni of the Havoc is from Rochester Hills, Michigan. And so I wanted to quiz both him and Charlie Risk about the quote unquote most famous people in their city that they're from.
Yeah.
For Charlie Risk, he actually named off like 3 people, one of which was a country music artist that I I wasn't even thinking about when I researched his town, which is Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada.
Gotcha.
But for the answer for Charlie that I looked up was Chris Osgood, who is the former goalie for the Detroit Red Wings, who won 3 Stanley Cups. I hated him as a kid, but he's from
I hate
Medicine
the Red
Hat.
Wings, so
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
But for Cam Cervoni, he is from Rochester Hills, Michigan, and so I started researching the people that were from there. Madonna is from Rochester Hills, Michigan, but so is Eminem, that's where Eminem now lives.
Wow.
Obviously kind of got away from 8 Mile.
You had to. I mean, you got to.
But he said something about Eminem either being, he used to have to pass Eminem's house to get to high school, or Eminem's house was right in front of his high school. I've got to go back and listen. But it's amazing that I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, oh yeah, and I know M's living there, but at the same time, it's like this man is literally set up like right by the high school. Like, hey,
who
this
knows?
is your goal.
He could live in the high school. There's no telling. He could have bought that. He could have bought the high school.
Absolutely, he can.
The other day, Joe, I just wanted to throw this out.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes because that's how I visualize when you start talking about something like this.
I was working out. All right,
Don't want to visualize.
Pumping that metal.
Don't
do a
want to
chest day.
visualize.
All right, these meaty
You can
chests.
stop with that part. You can stop.
I saw this huge dude, and I'm very vocal. I'll talk to a guy. I'll be like, hey, yo, you look massive, brother. And he's like, thanks. And I was like, you used to be a football player? He's like, yeah, I used to play college, all that stuff. Do you know who Jesse Murph is?
I'm close. No.
Singer. Think about
Jesse
that.
Murph?
Has a song with Jelly Roll.
Well, I mean, I know Jelly Roll songs.
Well, she's in one of she's a pretty popular singer. Turns out I met her dad in the
I was
gym.
about to say, I was like, well, in here I was thinking, you kept saying, I met this guy, and I was like, oh, so Jesse Murph was working out. Is this who you're about to say?
No, it's the
and then
dad.
you're like, do you
It's the
know her?
dad.
I'm going, wait, I'm so confused right
A
now.
little bit of a manly name, but I mean, at the same time, doesn't really matter when you're probably making a lot of money.
So yeah, Jesse Murph now lives in Nashville, and she is from Huntsville.
Yeah.
Had no idea. She's 20 years old.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Take advantage of TikTok while you can, kids. Either way, we do have callers on the phone lines.
256-576 977.
Noah is on with us. Noah, how you doing, man?
Pretty good.
No, I want to let you know before you get going that my son was listening the other day, and he heard one of your phone calls. And now every single day when I get him ready and we start to get into the car to go to school, he says, I don't want to go to school. I want to be homeschooled. Every single day. Just want to let you know. Just want to let you know. Okay. Just, so you have influence, just letting you know.
What do you got for us, Noah?
So I was wondering about the, I called it the XFL when I was off air, but I meant the USFL.
Gotcha.
Spring football.
Well, I want to know your opinions on it first, because I don't want anybody else's opinions to sway yours.
Yeah, no. Yeah, let's go with
what
you.
What are your opinions on more football, lesser known names during the spring?
Well, I mean, I think it's good because before USFL, spring and summer was just kind of torture before fall, because I was like, football is coming. I'm waiting. And so, I mean, it gives you something to watch at football wise, but I mean, it's never going to be as big as the NFL. I mean, it's kind of cool that Matt Corral is the starting quarterback at one of the teams, and AJ McCarron. That was really big for me and my daddy, two Alabama fans. We were like, hey, he finally gets to start again.
Yeah, no doubt. I like the way that you describe it, because I am all for talking about the UFL. We were talking about it last year. We talked about it the year before, whenever it was split between the XFL as well as the USFL. And it's something that, if you really love football and you want football year round, and it's something that you can watch more casual compared to the NFL, then it's something for you. And you can also go to the games for super cheap. They're very accessible. I believe they're just on Fox all season long. But I have to admit, it's an experimental league, and on top of that, it's a developmental league. So we get to see some players, mostly kickers, going into and playing for these NFL teams now after their 1 year In the UFL, we saw Jake Bates. He's one guy I could throw out there. Went from the Michigan Panthers to the Detroit Lions. Of course, helped them to a pretty impressive playoff run. So I like it. I might not watch every single game, but I will turn it on, and I kind of now have a weird little feeling to it, where it is warm outside, and I can watch football, and I can maybe even go to a game, go and watch Birmingham. That's how I feel about it, but I know a lot of people have varied different feelings because, of course, it's intertwining with baseball season, NASCAR, as well as some of the hockey.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the last time I called in, y'all probably understood it that I was a Chiefs fan. So
yeah, I feel you.
A lot of people.
You can take this one, Joe.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I feel you, Noah. I do. Yeah.
Yeah, it burned real bad.
Which one sucked more? Be honest. And again, I forget. Did you say you're 11 years old?
Yes.
Okay, so around the time that the Chiefs lost to the Bucks was kind of, I mean, you were about 7 years old around that time. Do you remember anything about that game?
I was barely adjusting to Alabama football when I was 7 years old. Be quiet.
No, that was the reason I was asking. Is for me, the one last night, or I should say Sunday night, didn't hurt as much as the one that it did for the Bucks loss to Tom Brady in that one, because that was, goat versus baby goat. It was, I know it was during COVID, so it was really, really strange. It was all that stuff. But at the same time, it was like, hey man, if you want to be considered the greatest of all time, you literally have it right in front of you. But he had to go out there with arguably an even worse offensive line in that game than what he did on Sunday. And he did everything in his power to try to win that game, and he just couldn't. That one sucked more for me than Sundays, but Sundays was one of those where I just kept watching and I honestly just couldn't believe that it got that bad that quickly. So I feel you, man. I feel you. We appreciate that phone call, bro.
Yeah, great stuff from you.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
All right.
Always good.
I meant to ask if he'd finished his schoolwork.
Talk with Noah.
That's also a true story. My son said that 3 times this morning.
Regardless
I
of
want to
that,
be homeschooled.
Moving over from
also Jessie Murph, by the way, she has over 1 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
she has over 1 million followers.
You know how many monthly listeners she gets on Spotify?
Good heavens,
10.5 million. All right, so it was pretty cool. A little altercation.
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Regardless of that, we did hop into a little bit of the NFL conversation, and joining us right now, just because we're on a roll, is one Mr. RJ White from Sportsline.com. RJ, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing wonderful. I'm doing a little bit better than Joe is because, of course, he is a Chiefs fan. But I do want to know your opinions on the game. Of course, it was a little bit of a blowout, but it also garnered some of the biggest numbers when it comes to TV. Not the most, according to Tom, with the moon landing and all of that weird stuff, but it still was the most watched Super Bowl game. Just give us your opinions on this one first off, and then we'll get into more of the end of season going into next season conversation.
Yeah, not surprised the Eagles won. I thought they were the better team going in. Took them at +2 the day after the conference championships. Did not think we were going to get a better number betting-wise than that. So I was happy to cash on that. Obviously was surprised how the game went. The defense just being as stifling as it was, picking off a quarterback in Mahomes. He just hadn't thrown an interception in 8 games, I think, in a row, 9 games in a row. So very impressive from them. Very impressive for Fangio. I think the storyline going in was how would Jalen Hurts hold up to the pressure that Steve Spagnuolo was going to send, especially if they got behind. And it really flipped it on its head to see, okay, maybe the greatest quarterback of all time is now the one under siege and does not have an answer for the pressure that Fangio's unit with a very talented defensive line. And it wasn't even the stars. One of my favorite picks of the game was Nolan Smith to get at least half a sack, and he's like the only person that didn't. It was everyone else, from Milton Williams to Josh Sweat with a sack and a half to other guys on that line that nobody knows. Jalix Hunt, I think, got in the action. So very big credit to them, to where everybody was just on their A game in that game and overwhelmed the Kansas City offensive line.
RJ, whenever you're looking at basically this point in time in the off season for you guys on Sportsline, what are you guys paying attention to now that kind of the NFL season's over with?
Well, we do sports. We do all sports year round. So, I mean, this is a huge week for us. We got Daytona coming up. We have several experts that pick that and give analysis for that. We have the NBA All-Star Weekend where we have several experts that are doing really well in their picks, their expert picks on the site. You know, you can actually sign up for our app, the Sportsline app, get notifications for your favorite experts when they make picks. So you can go and lock in the picks at the same lines they're making at your book. So we have several guys in the black there, and a few of them, Mike Barner and Matt Severance, our newsletter writer, are giving their picks for all the events in All-Star Weekend. So big there. We do NBA and college basketball every day. We do MLB when it starts up. So a lot of us to still get to. We're a big horse racing site as well. We have really great horse racing experts, and our horse racing editor, very, very knowledgeable guy. They all pick the Kentucky Derby. They do the Kentucky Derby prep races. So we'll have content on the futures pool that opens up every 3 weeks to a month. They have one opening up this weekend, and we'll have content around that as well.
Definitely interesting to see the amount of sports that you guys cover over there on sportsline.com, as well as the Discord that you guys have to check out. I'm talking to the listeners here because you get all the information you need to know about all things betting. But I do want to look at some of the oddball things that are going on over the offseason. Of course, there is a little bit of these bets going on for the draft. Talk a little bit about, some of what you can get involved with if you are looking to make some money during the offseason.
Yeah, the NFL draft sportsbooks right now typically only release the number one pick. So you're jumping on value there where you see it, which was interesting is when we talked about it on the Discord, it was a Tuesday during the playoffs. And I said, look, I'm looking at the odds now. I would go get Travis Hunter and or Abdul Carter for number one pick because the odds were very much skewed toward the two quarterbacks. I think Hunter was plus 1,200, Carter was plus 1,500. And then the next day, the new GM or the new president of operations, whatever it is, of Tennessee said they were looking for a generational talent. And then the odds on those two guys dropped precipitously. And now it's like, I think Hunter is number two right behind Ward and Carter's right there too, or maybe it's flip-flopped. So we try to stay ahead of things like that. But that's the one thing you're looking for in the draft. Now, as we get on through the combine, more is known about what teams are doing. The markets will start opening up. Number 2 overall pick, number 3 overall pick. Okay. And then as we get even closer, maybe a week out, you can start to see things like, which position will the Philadelphia Eagles draft first? Who will be the first defensive back drafted, things like that, which are very interesting to dive into and try to hit some long shots there.
Well, and RJ, I know that you talked about the odds moving and changing, but like for you, as you're kind of looking at this, what direction do you think, again, as of today, that you think the Titans may go with that number one pick?
I think a quarterback makes the most sense. I don't think there is value playing the odds on those two defensive guys I liked earlier when they were over, 10-1 odds. I think that if you don't have a quarterback, that's the thing you need. But we'll see if they decide to go that route right now. I know smart teams will kind of wait on that if they have a roster that needs a lot of work and they don't want to start the quarterback clock yet, and they may wait till the next year. So it'll be interesting to see if they make that case, or if a Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders aren't that level of number one pick that we see. So where it's a draft like not quite the Kenny Pickett draft, because I don't think any of those two guys are going to 20, but like a Mitchell Trubisky went number 2 instead of number 1 type of thing. So I think we have to find out what level of talent those guys are, because I don't know that they raised to the level of last year with Caleb or even Jaden Daniels or a Trevor Lawrence draft or a Joe Burrow draft. So I think that the jury's still out on that.
No doubt about that. RJ White from sportsline.com is our guest. Always does a great job of bringing us all the NFL know-how. But looking into next season, super early, I know. But we already have people saying that, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. It's that same type of banter. But outside of that, what type of betting odds, lines have you seen for maybe an MVP or players, rookie players? I don't know. Has any of those even come out yet?
No, you can bet the MVP right now. Rookie, I think they wait to see where these guys end up before they put odds out on that. But you can bet the MVP. Haven't really dove into that. Actually did a deep dive into the Super Bowl betting odds market for an article that's going to be released next week on CBSSports.com when we relaunch our betting arena. And it ranks all 32 teams in terms of who I think the best betting value is right now for the Super Bowl. So for me, the Eagles are number 1 just because consensus-wise, they're not enough of a gap considering the conference they play in versus the top three AFC teams. I think that's probably the best quote unquote value at anything above plus 500. And right now you typically find them plus 650, plus 700. But the number 2 team and my biggest sleeper is the Packers at 20-1. I think that they're a very strong team. I think the NFC North is wide open. The Lions could take a step back, losing their 2 coordinators. The Packers kind of have it all out in front of them to have a better offseason than people expect because they're not really losing many key players. It took time to really switch that defensive scheme because it was such an aggressive scheme switch with the new defensive coordinator. It took time for those guys to gel, but I think he really came into their own down the stretch, and Jordan Love just didn't quite play up to the level he did in his first year as starter, but obviously still young, still growing. I think there's room for them to go out and get add a receiver to that room and just be the favorite in that division and potentially be the right there with the Eagles. So getting them at 20-1 when they're behind like the Commanders, I think it's a very good value.
RJ White joins us right now from Sportsline, and I don't know if this is a thing. This is the reason why I'm asking you, because we were able to bet on a lot of things with the Super Bowl. I mean, literally everything from Gatorade colors to length of national anthems, all this proposals, all this weird stuff. Is there a market, or is there anybody that actually takes bets on free agents and where they may be going next season?
The type of off-season movement thing is sometimes found on offshore books, so it's not something we really cover. We talk about predictions and things we think are going to happen, like stuff in the Discord. And obviously a lot of the content on CBS Sports is geared toward predicting those type of things. But in terms of betting-wise, it's not really something that people listening here can go out and get pretty easily.
Well, and with that, and you said you're talking about the Discord, which you do need to join with RJ on that. What are you thinking right now as far as free agents? I know franchise tag is going to be coming up. We don't really know about what players are going to get franchise tag. But
ask about Miles.
No, not asking about Miles because Miles needs to get traded. What do you think as far as the free agency is concerned with the NFL players about a player that could be on the move and where?
Yeah, I want to see what happens with T. Higgins. I know that they want to bring him back, but with the Bengals. But it's a lot to ask to pay that type of money when you have Jamar Chase as well and Joe Burrow, of course, making what he makes. So I wonder if they let him go. I think they went into the draft the last few years trying to find a number 2 to replace him, sort of like what Tampa did with Jalen McMillan for Chris Godwin moving forward. So I don't know that they found that. So maybe they kind of break down and do offer him a big deal. But if he wants to go somewhere else and be like the guy, the number 1 guy, it'll be really interesting to see if he lands in a place like Green Bay, where like that would just take that offense to the next level, or he finds another place like a Denver, with a growing quarterback there that really needs some help on the wide receiver the depth chart there. So I think he's probably going to get paid. There's plenty of teams that have a lot of space. I believe the Patriots have like $123 million in cap space. So they can give him like whatever he wants essentially to be the number 1 paid receiver in the league and give Drake May someone to throw to and instantly make them an interesting team if they can get the offensive line fixed. So that's one guy. Like I said, Chris Godwin, it's really kind of where the receivers are going to shuffle around to and see if anybody lands that key number 1 guy that they desperately need.
Would definitely help Drake May as he proceeds through his career. Real quick, before we get you out of here, the UFL's right around the corner, and I know people still want to bet on some football. What do you guys got going on over there at Sportsline that'll help them out with some UFL lines?
Yeah, in the past, we've done weekly picks from our guy, Emery Hunt, one of the best at like breaking down all the little known prospects during the draft. He puts out his own guide that includes 1,000+ players. He does all the traveling and networking and talking to where he knows these small school guys pretty well. And that's the type of guys you see in the UFL, right? He's able to speak on those guys with an intelligence that I think almost nobody else in the football knows. They know some of the big name quarterbacks that are out there, but you get down to the defensive linemen and the offensive tackles, and it's not guys anybody have heard of, but someone like Emery. So he gives his picks every week, does a really good job with it. I sometimes do DFS content for that, and some level of success there. I'm really just trying to find the inefficiencies in the market, just like with betting, to say, hey, we don't know anything about this run game, so there's no reason why this player should be like the 3rd most expensive running back versus this guy who's the 20th. So just trying to find those inefficiencies there to take some swings and win some decent pots in DFS is kind of my role in it.
Well, RJ, no, we absolutely appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you've done for us this football season because, again, a lot of the things that you have mentioned, some people will go, wait, what did he just say? And then they go back and listen, and it's something that you predicted or you said that the numbers are showing towards a football game that people are paying attention to. So just thank you so much for everything that you've done this year as well. And, again, I know you're going to be doing a ton over on Sportsline as well because you said you have an article coming out about betting with the Super Bowl. What else do you have coming up over the course of the next few weeks?
For me in particular, my analysis is really just that, and we'll start talking about the draft as we get into March in terms of the stuff that I do. But like I said, a whole host of experts on sports. I'm giving content every day on every other sport that I'm not as good on. So I'm not going to go out here and try to pretend like I'm a college basketball expert and tell you all the people to take in March Madness. I rely on our team to help me educate me when I make up my brackets.
Great stuff from you as always, RJ. Appreciate your time. Know you're a busy man. We'll let you get on with your day, but
thanks, man.
Hope to hear from you during the off season because, of course, it's the off season. You get a little bit of rest from, of course, me and Joe Hunk.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right. Stay in touch, though. Stay in touch.
Absolutely.
Good
That
stuff.
is RJ White of Sportsline, where you can make sure that you go and follow us and watch us there on 97.7 ESPN, the Zones, WZZN TV. You were able to see us right there with RJ, and we appreciate him coming on throughout the entire football season. We come back.
We got callers. We got questions.
Will you stop popping it? That is hurting my ears.
Look, it's almost over.
It's hurting my ears. We'll continue on the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and WZZN TV.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Sometimes the coolest little gems are found a little off the beaten path, and that's exactly where you will find Hickory Store Barbecue. They are on Blake Bottom Road, just east of Jeff Road, and it's definitely worth the trip. The smokers are going on site daily, and they have the best smoked wings around. You'll love the fireplace and the covered patio, and best of all, Hickory Store Barbecue is locally owned and operated by the McAlpins. They even have rotating craft beer taps and live music weekly. Hickory Store Barbecue. Go see what you're missing. Blake Bottom Road in Monrovia. You'll thank me later.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
Final segment, best segment on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, and the Blitz. John Abraham, as you can watch on WZZN TV simply by going to YouTube and looking up WZZN TV, going to X 977 ESPN, as well as Facebook as well.
And you can also follow our apps as well over on 97.7 ESPN on Apple and Android devices, as well as getting all the best in zone deals just by going over to our website, clicking on Deals Never Tasted So Good, and start saving money today.
You know what else is today?
No.
Okay, so first, Blue Oak Barbecue.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun.
Convinced John to stay. He went to Hickory last time, so I'm going to the next one.
I go to a lot of them. That was on Thursdays. I meet with my mom.
So I'm going to be going out there. UAH is doing a meet and greet, basketball teams, men and women's. The men's team's ranked number 4 in the country right now. The women's team just had Lily Wilkin pass over 1,000 yards scoring. That was just a few nights ago in Mississippi College. So representatives from both, the coaches, all that are going to be out at Blue Oak Barbecue. But also today is the first day of spring training.
Let's go.
20 different Major League Baseball teams reported to spring training in Arizona and Florida. The Braves are already on the practice field. They're already on the field practicing. So that is pretty awesome. What were you screaming let's go about?
Nothing.
Liar. You don't do that and everybody can see it on a camera and you don't, and then you don't give an answer.
Dang. It's a game. Sorry, I'm thinking already to the end of the show. We actually have a caller on the
thank
phone
you,
lines.
because I was actually thinking that was going to be something really cool. 256-576-977.
Wolverine Dan.
How's it going, man?
It's all good, man. I just knocked down the last couple pieces of chicken wings that I had for Super Bowl. Anytime there's football at the Wolverine house, I gotta have chicken wings, bro. I just do.
I understand that fully. All right. During the Super Bowl, my lady made like 35 to 40 chicken wings.
Dang.
Lathered them in Sweet Baby Ray's. And I didn't just destroy them on Super Bowl night, but I also went back for them last night. So very good.
Well, you do know I am the Wing Bowl champion. You know that, don't you?
I got to get this guy on at Baumhauer's. We got to have an actual wing showdown.
When's the last time there was a wing showdown?
It was been a long time. I ate that when I won, I beat an 18-year-old. So that just tells you something. I think it was 50 chicken wings I ate in 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
That's pretty good.
I take my time, but
No, yeah, you can't take your time in a wing showdown.
it's
That's
all
part
about
of the
the
stick.
technique.
it was funny because that contest, what happened is that day of, I was screwing around in my backyard and I threw my back out, so I couldn't really sit. So actually, I ate chicken wings on my knee. So it actually worked out pretty good because the plate was level with my mouth. I could just shovel them in. And then I got interviewed by Channel 19, and he says, the guy, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he said to me, he says, well, what was your technique? What did you do? And then I told him about getting hurt. And he said, well, how'd you eat chicken wings? And I said, well, I just got on my knees and went at it. And then he stopped. He says, he didn't know what to say.
Yeah, no.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
You also got to worry about the bones too. But
yeah.
But speaking of moving on, how about my Michigan Wolverines?
Big time win.
Last year, this year, where they were 3-17, total turnaround, conference, top of the conference, and the coach we have, I think we need to give him a blank check. Dusty May, what a name! Sounds like a wrestler, for crying out loud.
Cool.
This guy's pretty darn good. So, and see what's great about Michigan is they have the triple towers, not the twin towers. They got 3 7-footers, fellas. This team, you got to shoot over all that, and they're good too. So we might make a pretty good run.
Oh, I can definitely see it. They've been consistent all throughout the season. Plus, beating Purdue anytime for Michigan is a pretty big deal, at least when it comes to the basketball. First time since 2022 that they were able to get the win against Purdue. Last time it was in Ann Arbor. This time in Ann Arbor. I think we get a little bit of a trend here, but it's a good Big Ten team. It's tough to really talk about any other conference in the Southeast whenever we're spoiled with all of the SEC teams, but regardless of that, it is a solid Big Ten team, and they will definitely make a little bit of a run. I don't know how deep, but that's up to you.
In my closing, I got to say this: would it be wonderful for the Michigan world if we play Alabama and we beat them, and that'd be 3 times.
Take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy. I'm about to hang up on you.
Yeah. You were all nice to him now. See what he's saying now? How you feeling over there?
Well, wait a minute now. That's just fact. He beat you twice in 1 year.
Oh no, I'm just talking about the way that John's approached this phone call. He's like, yeah, man, everything's going great for Michigan. Then you're like, well, great would it be if we get to beat Alabama 3 times? He's like, whoa, hold up. I was on your side till then.
30.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
All right,
okay,
Dan.
fellas. Hey, I love this show. I'll let you go. See
Thanks, Dan. We
Good
appreciate
stuff.
it.
Well, you better let us go.
Yeah, y'all were all friends until he started that, didn't he? Then he started talking about beating Bama a 3rd time, and you're like, whoa.
Look, I try and be nice to the listeners, but at the end of the day, they bring up some of my teams. I get a little bit triggered.
All right.
Outside of that, we got to get out of here. 22-hour break. Look forward to Tom Abraham as Joe is going to be on location.
Yeah, I don't even know if Tom knows yet, but I am.
He does it. Either
Yeah.
way, we'll
Yeah.
see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school, and we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain. Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball. The Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I own Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that